listening to Sports Radio Detroit.
Hello and welcome back to Grave Discussions. I am your host, Barnabas.
And I am your co-host, Samael, and welcome to episode 38, Scream Queen.
That's not the voice I had in mind when I wrote that down, but...
Scream Queen.
There you go. Yep. Today's episode is going to be all about the leading ladies of horror, the final girls, the Scream Queens.
Yes, and I was sitting there pondering to myself, I was like, you know, we haven't talked about Scream Queens much, and the past 20 movies I've watched, the survivor was a woman, so I was like, hey, let's talk about Scream Queens.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it's kind of transforming now, but we'll talk about that for sure. It's an interesting subject. I hope that you guys all have a favorite Scream Queen. We're going to be talking about ours, I'm sure. But yeah, we're going to jump into the news as always. But before we do that, we wanted to give a shout out, as always.
Sports Radio Detroit.
Yep, the SRD one and only. And you can find them on all their social media. What do they got?
They have a Twitter, they have a Facebook, and they have an Instagram. You could just look them up. Sports Radio Detroit, not Detroit Sports Radio. That's not us. Mm-hmm. Sports Radio Detroit, SRD. We are the one, the only, and the greatest.
Yep, go check them out. And we're going to move right into the news here. And the first one is probably the biggest bit of news to come out of this week. The Candyman spiritual successor, sequel / reboot, whatever you want to call it, is confirmed. And it's set for a 2020 release date, actually June 12th, 2020. So it's happening. Jordan Peele right now is still attached as the producer, and he did co-write the script. And the director is going to be Nia DaCosta, who is an up-and-coming director. She's done something called Little Woods. I don't know what it is, but if you wanted to go check it out, go for it. But I am excited about it. You know, we talked about it before. I think Jordan Peele's a good choice.
I agree.
And it sucks that we have to wait 2 years, but I know it's going to be, at least I hope it's going to be good. So
I think it is. I mean, Jordan Peele didn't let me down with Get Out, and so, I mean, he's good, man.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I like him. There's some haters on even this article, which I don't even.
Let me address this too, because no one really talks about it. But the only people that have a problem with remakes are a bunch of jaded old guys who don't realize that the original movies weren't so great in the first place. Yeah, we can appreciate the old Candyman for what it was. We can appreciate old slashers like Black Christmas and all these even the cheese-filled slashers, even stuff like Gremlins. I saw people, don't remake Gremlins. Listen, man, it wasn't that good, okay? So chill the fuck out, and you're old. That's all I have to say. You're old. Remakes suck. No, you just... Bro, you're biased. If you saw the remake first, you'd like it more. Like me, I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake before I saw the original because I was 10, and I liked the remake more. Why? Because it was a better film? Maybe, but probably no. But because I saw it first. And when you watch the original and then you watch a remake and you're like, well, this is different, and you're just picking out stuff instead of going in it with open mind. Of course you're going to be an angry ass old guy with shriveled up balls.
Yeah.
I think they all just got their balls in a shrivel.
You're probably right. Yeah, I mean,
their balls are shriveling up. They're angry. They can't get erections, so they gotta attack movie remakes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm reserving judgment, of course, until I see the film. But
exactly,
I'm not gonna hate it right away.
Even the whole everyone LeBron wanting to produce Friday, it's gonna suck, and it's just a bunch of decrepit old guys just talking. It's no, bro. You suck. Let me take you and the 5 best people you know, and you go make a movie. Let's see how good your acting, your script writing, Fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. And then I mean, just the fact that Jordan Peele is taking a lot of people off. I guess I don't know, but it's happening whether any of you like it or not.
I hope,
and I'm excited for it.
I hope they remake all the slashics and all like the classics just to piss people off. I hope they remake Sleepaway Camp, Chopping Mall. I hope they remake everything.
Everything imaginable. Yeah.
I know we just had a Thing remake in 2011.
Remake it again.
Yeah, remake it again just to piss another one? That's right. That's right. They remade Cabin. I can't wait for the Chucky remake. Everyone's so pissy about it. All these fucking hipsters. Well, you can't touch a classic. Shut up and go to your coffee shop and drink your coffee like a good little boy.
So
Moving on.
Let's move on. Stay tuned for that one, June 12th, 2020. This next article is a bit of a sad one. A lot of you may or may not be familiar with this director, but Nicholas Roeg just passed away, I believe, this past week, a few days ago, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was just about to watch The Witches last night.
Oh, yeah. I've seen The Witches. I've seen Don't Look Now. Both great films. But yeah, Nicholas Roeg passed away. Not much else other than that to share here.
Damn, first Stan Lee, then Steven Hillenburg, and now him.
Yeah, I know.
What?
It's crazy.
2018 is just a bad year.
I swear to God, yeah. The year's almost over. It's got to claim some more victims, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, go check him out. He also did The Man Who Fell to Earth, which isn't really that horror, but he's a legendary director. He's worked on Lawrence of Arabia, Casino Royale, Dr. Zhivago. So rest in peace for sure. And I might have to grab my copy of Don't Look Now and watch that again. So next up, our final bit of news here. This article just came out today. The new Dracula has been officially cast, and we talked about this before. It's a co-production with BBC and Netflix, and it's going to have Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss penning it. So a new Dracula, kind of set back in like the classic, kind of more faithful to the book, and Danish actor Claes Bang will be Count Dracula.
That's the best last name I've ever seen.
I know, right? Bang. Yeah, and he looks the part. I mean, I'm glad that they're having a European, actor do it, because that's what it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I guess Gary Oldman's European. Like, I don't see people from the UK. I see people from the UK as, I don't care if you're Scottish or Irish. You're British to me, all right? British to me. You know who I look at as European? Italians, Danish people, Swiss people, Eastern Europeans. No one thinks, hey, what's European? UK? No, yeah. They just think of the UK as the UK, and I'm glad, bro. Bring in the Danish people. Let's have them. Let's have them.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Oldman's a phenomenal actor, so I loved his Count Dracula anyway. But yeah, I mean, the whole story of Count Dracula is set in Eastern Europe. So
it would be awesome if they had a Romanian guy play Dracula. Then you'd be like 100% accurate.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But I mean, yeah, it's just I think this guy really looks the part. I can already see him as Dracula. There's a picture on the article on Bloody Disgusting. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There's still no updates, I believe, on like when this is supposed to come out, but I'm excited for it. So let's dive into a couple trailers here that just came out. Yep.
Puka.
So Puka is a new one coming out on Hulu.
Oh shit!
As part of the Into the Dark series, that it just dropped another one, Flesh and Blood, that Thanksgiving themed one.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I just watched it last week on Hulu. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm behind. I need to watch the first two, but
it's like a mystery thriller more than like a straight up horror. But like, I thought it was great. So what's Puka about?
So Puka is gonna star Nyasha Hatendi, who is playing a struggling actor who gets a job as the newest hot toy in the market. He's gonna play like the mascot, and it's called Puka. And I don't even know how to describe it. It looks like the Pokemon like that Ursa ring. Is that what it is? That giant bear with the like, ring on it?
I think so.
but the Puka has like these huge like giant circular eyes that are like glowing. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It looks kind of weird. But he plays the mascot, and apparently he like goes insane throughout the course of the movie.
Oh shit!
Like while being in the costume and stuff. And yeah, it looks pretty interesting. And I'm particularly excited about it because it's being directed by Nacho Vigalondo, who did VHS, and then he also directed Colossal and Time Crimes.
I saw Time Crimes so many times on like my queue, and like I never watched it.
I just recently watched it. It was actually really good.
Would you consider it horror?
In a way, kind of, but it's a little bit more like sci-fi thriller-ish. But he does, well, I don't want to spoil it, but there is like a killer in it technically. So
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's completely like it deals with time, so it's kind of interesting. But so I have faith in this because Time Crimes was absolutely like mind fucking, and this looks like it's going to be that kind of vibe, you know. So I think it could go well. So be on the lookout for Puka. It's coming out December 7th on Hulu.
Oh, that's really, really, really close.
Real soon. Next Friday. I actually have a wisdom tooth removal surgery like on that day.
Dude, Mookie had one of those, and he was in like horrible pain.
Oh man. Yeah, well, they're gonna put me under and stuff, and then I'm gonna like chill at home like the whole weekend.
At least you're gonna get narcotics.
Oh, I know, right?
You get to get high as fuck off Tylenol 3s for like a few days. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be in bed like all weekend, so I'm excited. I mean, I'm not like that excited, but
you're only gonna be able to chew with the right side of your mouth. If anything with vinegar or salt touches the left side of your mouth, you're gonna fucking scream.
They're gonna take them out on each side. I'm just gonna be like drinking like beef.
You're gonna like
through a straw.
Just take like a whole can of goulash and like put it in the blender. Just hit blend and just drink it.
Yeah, but it's pretty much what I'm gonna have to do, I think. But
oh god.
Anyway, that's a horror story all of itself.
It really fucking is. We should make a movie about wisdom tooth removal.
Oh man,
let's call it Wisdom. After a guy removes his wisdom teeth, he has psychic premonitions.
All right, we're copywriting that. No one take that.
Yeah, if you take that, I'll find you.
So the next one is also Christmas related. It's called Christmas Blood, which is not a very creative title, but
no, that's.
But the actual like name of it in Norwegian sounds way cooler. It's like Jule Blood or something like that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a Norwegian film coming from filmmaker Reinert Kiel, who did The House and a movie called Whore. Well, okay. All right. Fantastic. So this is coming December 11th on physical disc and VOD platforms, including iTunes, Amazon Video, and Vudu. And it's basically about like a serial killer who dresses up as a Santa Claus. But it looks kind of cool because it seems like it's also going to mix kind of like this like Scandinavian like small town crime kind of thing into it with like the cops and stuff. So I don't know, could be cool. The trailer looked interesting.
Nice. When, December 11th?
December 11th, yep.
I might check it out. These fucking foreign films have been impressing me lately. So.
Oh yeah, I mean they're really good. Some of them are not that good, but these kind of like grittier ones I usually find they're pretty good. So the last trailer we have for you guys today is called Perfume, and this is actually yet another adaptation of a novel written by Patrick Suskind called Perfume, I believe. There was another movie of that adapted the book called Perfume: The Story of a Murderer, which was released back in 2006. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's really good. And then it's being adapted again into a series on Netflix, which is coming out in December, the 21st, actually. So this sounds pretty cool because it follows a killer who kills people, like butchers them, and then uses their body parts to develop a perfume that can apparently like attract anyone.
Oh, dude, I fucking heard of this one. Holy shit. Okay, as soon as you said the premise, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I saw this. I think it was on Bloody Disgusting. I was reading about it. Actually on their, I think something on their Instagram or on their Facebook feed. Okay. It was one or the other, but I read about this one. Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, that
sounds fucking crazy.
It sounds really good, and I heard that the movie is really good, so I have to watch the movie. But there's a new series coming out. It's just another reboot, I believe. It's gonna be a shocking contemporary spin on the novel, whatever that means. So yeah, be on the lookout for that one, December 21st on Netflix. So that's all the news for today. And I think it's pretty much time to get into our next segment, find out what we have in store for you in this week's Cult Corner. All right.
I was just waiting for it.
So in this week's Cult Corner, we have a true cult classic.
Dude, one of the best 80s slashers, because a lot of people were kind of like piggybacking off of Jason. You know, after 1981, every fucking slasher turned into like a summer camp slasher or like a revenge slasher. But this was the revenge slasher before Friday the 13th, surprisingly.
Yeah.
This is Prom Night.
I will say probably the best disco-themed horror movie to ever exist.
Yes.
So the film, obviously known for its crazy soundtrack, disco-themed prom final act, which is very cool. You actually mentioned that it kind of felt like a giallo movie almost.
Yeah.
It's just a super like creative film. There's a lot of like elements.
I really like the score. It had the classic 80s, you know, cinematography. Not much you could really say about the cinematography because that wasn't like the main focus. The main focus was more so the mystery of it. And I like the killer guys because it was just basically a ski mask and like all black, which is like in a lot of giallo films, you know, like just a ski mask and a weapon. And he had like the weird whispers, like, it really reminded me of Tenebrae. You remember Spy? You remember that?
Was that in that one? Didn't you say A Blade in the Dark earlier?
That one too, yeah.
That one too. Okay,
both of them have like whispering fucking killers.
Yeah, that was kind of a really reoccurring element in a lot of giallo, but
I think this one was pretty much. I don't know. Like I noticed it for the first time yesterday. I was like, "Yo, this is like a fucking giallo." Like
kind of, yeah. I mean, you mentioned that the cinematography was like not that special, which I kind of agree with, but at the same time, there were kind of some pretty cool shots. There were like some moments.
The beginning had actually like when the little girl fucking dropped. Like
that, and then also like during the actual kills, there were some parts where it would just like go from like one item to another like really fast, like
it would just be like zoom in on like the dude that's about to get killed, the eyeball, like
and then like interject the killer's like eye or something or mask or whatever.
That's what really made it feel like a giallo film to me. Like that like how dramatized it was, I think really helped. Like I was watching it like, did an Italian guy make this? I don't know. Paul Lynch? Is it? Are there lynches in Italia?
I don't think so. Yeah, no lynches in Italia.
I know it's called Italy. I'm not fucking stupid.
Italia land.
All right.
But I don't think so. But I mean, I could see how it would be influenced by giallo, definitely. I mean, slashers in general pretty much.
I think
were,
all of them are. Yeah.
Some cool cinematography, and really the whole film is pretty dramatized. I mean, half of it is just like them getting ready for prom, and then they're just like finding like their pictures with a shard of glass in it in their lockers or whatever, which first of all seems kind of impossible, but
yeah, it really does.
But anyway,
you got your stereotypical characters.
Yeah.
The good girl, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, her goofy, curly-haired, big-nosed brother, like, you know, that guy.
Yeah.
You got the boyfriend, who's extremely nice and always kisses Jamie Lee Curtis. Hi, baby.
But kind of a douchebag also.
Kind of a fucking douchebag, yeah. But also, you have, and it wouldn't be the 1980s without them, the bullies.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you got like the head mean girl, Wendy, portrayed by Eddie Benton.
Her name's Eddie?
Apparently.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe short for like Edith. I don't know. I have no idea. And then you've got her, and then you've got the other kids who were part of this like kind of secretive group. They bullied and accidentally caused the death of a young girl when they were kids. They were playing at like some abandoned building, of course, because that's what you do as children. And she died. They hid it, and then that's basically what the whole movie's about. Someone's out taking revenge against these kids because of her.
I guess at first, like, they try to make you think, oh, she survived or something, or she's back years later. That's at least back in the 1980s. That's what people thought, because no one knew if there was going to be a supernatural element to this film. And then the dude shows up starting to kill people.
Yeah. Well, there was that. Well, there was that one scene where, they like went to the cemetery and everything, and so I mean, I didn't really like think that she was alive, but I think they were trying to play it off like, oh, the sexual predator who allegedly killed her got out and is going to start killing people again or something.
Right? Yeah, but we knew that wasn't it because we knew a sexual predator didn't kill her.
Right. And actually, the funny thing is like, so I mean, if you know who the killer is, then
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Say his name, Alex.
The brother, yeah. So he is actually, I believe, in the opening scene with his sister, and then he like wanders off or something. I believe, if I remember correctly. So it's not like if you go back to it, you can kind of tell how it foreshadows it, which is nice. Really kind of builds the story well.
I wonder why he took that to heart so much.
I mean, it was his sister, like, and these kids just killed her and didn't tell anybody.
Well, I mean, yeah,
so I would have been pissed, I guess. But
his other sister is dating the dude that was responsible for it. One of the dudes. So like, how come she isn't like, oh, we were kids, it was an accident? Alex,
I don't think she ever knew about it. She wasn't there.
She wasn't there,
and I don't think that he told anyone either.
Oh shit! I thought she was there. I thought
no, she was never there. She didn't know about it. See, that's the thing that makes this movie kind of weird, because she's like the final girl, the scream queen of this movie, right?
She's like,
and she doesn't even know about like what happened or that someone is like after her. Well, they're not really after her because it's her brother, but she doesn't know that someone's after like her friends, or like have any idea what's going on until the final act, basically, where like everyone's dying and her boyfriend is attacked and stuff. So yeah, it's just that. So that thinking about that was kind of interesting to me. I never really thought about it until yesterday, but I was like, she's like not really in on any of this, but she's like the final girl,
Usually there's like a struggle with the final girl, like a physical struggle with the killer. This one kind of, but like he wasn't trying to kill her, because obviously it's his sister.
But it's ironic because she basically ended up killing him.
Almost.
Well, I think he did die at the end, but yeah, she like hit him and unintentionally caused like, I don't know, a brain aneurysm or something. I have no idea. But.
Yeah, because he was stumbling around because he got cracked with like the back of the axe.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd survive.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how that even happened. That's bad. That's bad script. All right, you're gonna hold the axe facing the right way, and then when you're swinging at him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, I didn't think that she meant to kill him. It didn't look that great, so yeah, it could have been like better stunt choreography probably, but yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting because he didn't intend to kill her. He was trying to take revenge for the loss of his sibling, and then she unknowingly basically kind of led to like his death. Because I'm pretty sure he does die at the end. So, yeah, I don't know. It's that like character struggle is interesting, I guess, or the twist rather. But yeah, overall, I mean, the movie is great, and it's kind of like my favorite like theme music in like all of horror probably.
It was pretty dope. I like there was one scene in particular. The scene with the fat dude and the chick after they had sex and they were smoking a joint, and like he was hanging on to the van while it was riding. It really reminded me of The Town That Dreaded Sundown. They had that exact same scene in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's two people fucking in the woods, and then some guy attacks their car, hangs onto the moving car. I like the stalking though beforehand because you just see like that black silhouette and you hear that music. He's just in the background. You're like, fuck, what the fuck is about to happen? He's about to kill them, but where is he gonna come from? And then one thing I liked about the cinematography is like when he was like stalking them, you see him, and then once they get into the van, it doesn't show you like around the van. You're in the van as soon as the characters are in there, but you don't see the killer now, which is what I like. He's out there, but you don't know where. So like I said before, like it's about where you think he is, not where he actually is. It leaves it all up to the imagination. Then he just pops out of nowhere and starts stabbing her in the face. So.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, it
was effective.
I thought it built suspense pretty well and kind of left you on the edge of your seat pretty well. But yeah, but those scenes were like kind of few and far between until the final act. So for me, I thought if I had to give a criticism of it, I thought like the beginning, maybe there could have been like a little more action or like another person could have died or something like that. But it did make sense to leave most of it toward like for the actual prom part. Because prom night, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I get that, but it still felt like a little slow to me. But yeah, overall, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of slow, but it was super interesting. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was it's one of my favorite 80s slash. Like in order, The Burning is probably my first favorite. Like I don't count the rest of like the Halloween franchise. Yeah. I'm talking about slashers independent of Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy. You know, so like Prom Night would be like, I would say second. My first is The Burning, then Prom Night, and then I enjoyed My Bloody Valentine. Those are my top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like Prom Night. I'm not sure where I would place it like in my top whatever slashers, but it was great. It was super nostalgic, and one of the things I love most about it is just like how well it, like half the movie was just like a disco shit, and like it still worked as a slasher movie.
I just love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, this is probably like, I mean, it's hard to say, but this is probably like my favorite role that she was in, just because like we got to see Jamie Lee Curtis doing like the funky chicken and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, fighting against an axe murderer. Yeah, she was pretty cool.
She was great, bro. Like even if the movie she was in Terror Train too.
Yeah.
You know what? Since we're gonna since I want to talk about Jamie Lee Curtis's roles in other movies, I think it's time to move on to our main segment.
Yeah, definitely. So let us know what you guys think about Prom Night. It's definitely a classic. It's got the disco theme. It's got the cool giallo influenced, cinematography and everything.
One of the best scores in the 80s slasher too. Like you mentioned beforehand. Like when I mentioned Prom Night, like you really like the score, and like I was paying close attention this time because like, you know, I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, wow, the score was wonderful, and then I just forget it. But like this one, I think this one's gonna stick with me. This is gonna be one of those rewatchable movies too. It's not like you watch this movie and then you're like, well, gotta wait 2 years before I can watch it again because it kind of drags on. No, I mean, in my opinion, there was some stuff they could have did different. Like, I'm glad the bullies got fucking killed though, beheaded and shit. Yeah. But like, this was borderline the perfect slasher movie. Like, because it actually had like real life motive to why someone would kill people. And the ending was like pretty emotional too. It was actually and it made sense. It wasn't some sad, like big dramatic like he gets gunned down and stuff. Yeah, and it wasn't just like I said, some random guy. He's from 3 towns over. He loves to skin women. Like, what the fuck? Like, I kind of hate those. But so fantastic movie, and I'll never forget it because even just like randomly, I'll have the theme song pop into my head. It's like Prom Night, everything is all right. I love That's my mood forever. Since 2011, that was my mood. Except when we were at fucking prom, I was like doing like the fucking some Russian dance, and then I fucking slipped, and the security guard came up to me and was like, "Stop it! Stop what? Stop fucking falling!" Yeah, it's not your fault. That's why I wish I went to prom in the 80s. I would have fell. Someone would have picked me up, and we would have started, you know, doing the hootenanny. Like, exactly. Have you ever watched Terror Train? I have, yeah. What do you think? What do you think about Jamie Lee Curtis in that one? I thought she was. She's dope in every movie she plays, honestly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, she was great in that. It's been a while since I've seen it. I gotta watch it again. I'm down to watch that shit. I haven't, dude. I haven't watched it like most of the movies we like kind of bring up randomly on here. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched this one since FearNet existed on Comcast. I know I talk about this a lot, but that was seriously like the best. Every month there was something new on FearNet or on like fucking. Or you just go to the horror section and they would have stuff from like Showtime and Stars that you could watch too. Gosh, Comcast used to be so good. I miss FearNet. Same. But we do have Shudder with all these slashics. Yeah, Shudder's great. But yeah, I like Terror Train a lot. But yeah, we'll have to watch it again. Jamie Lee Curtis is great though. Prom Night was probably my favorite role of hers, but obviously it's hard to discount Halloween. But like when I talk about slasher movies, I never really include Freddy, Jason, or Michael when I say like this is my favorite slasher of the 80s. I'm not disregarding them like as slashers. I'm just like, yo, those are kings. So like I'm just we're talking about the cult ones here, you know? Like so like I would say Jamie Lee Curtis, my favorite role besides the Halloween horror movies was Prom Night as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean she's fantastic obviously and arguably the quintessential Scream Queen. So before we dive further into our main discussion, I just wanted to give just a few minutes for you guys to hear about some other shows on the Sports Radio Detroit Network.
Hi, this is Chris.
And this is Roger. And if you like Tigers baseball, Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, analytics, pop culture references, movies, sports, food, check us out. Look for Tigers SRD on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify.
Do you love pop culture? Discussions about pop culture? Ranking and rating treasured pieces of that shared culture against each other?
I mean, I do think Flea's a good bass player. He does what he does very well. And like I said, he's like a rock star, you know? He's eccentric. And what is so funny?
I just didn't know he talked so long about Flea. I didn't know anybody had so many feelings.
I do.
So many
I got
feelings.
yeah.
Music, movies, television, food, sports, pro wrestling. We are the determination of what is over or underrated across all fields of greater cultural consumption. Subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts and Podbean, or visit us at sportsradiodetroit.com. Over Under Fair, your final word in pop cultural relevance.
All right. So, in your words, what is a scream queen?
My words, a scream queen is usually a badass chick in a movie that always thwarts the killer, and no matter how much he damages her, comes after her, she always gets the upper hand in the end.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good description. The actual, from Wikipedia, a scream queen is an actress who has become associated with horror films either through an appearance and a notable entry in the genre or recurring roles in the genre. So that's like kind of the technical term.
Final girl and scream queen to me is like the same thing. You can't be a scream queen if you got killed in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis got killed in Resurrection, but that was a steaming pile of crap. I don't know what Rick Rosenthal was thinking when he did that. Like, he did a great job with Halloween 2. Why'd you fuck it up?
Yeah, I don't know. That I think we all can agree that movie was
she was the first
not good
scream queen I actually like even knew about. Like, that was the first you know, movie I watched with a final girl, and like she was just fucking up Myers, stabbing him in the neck, in the chest, in the eye. I don't know. She was a badass to me. I never knew she was Jamie Lee Curtis. I never knew. Yeah, I didn't know until I watched like Freaky Friday, and I was like, she kind of looks like the chick from Halloween. And my sister Betty, she was like, she is the chick from Halloween. I was like, no way. She looks so different. She's like, yeah, Halloween was made in '78. You dipshit. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, she was my first. So Jamie Lee Curtis has like a special place in my heart. Because like, I don't know, man. When I think about like if I had to like stay with a woman for an apocalypse, I would stay with Jamie Lee Curtis just because like I know maybe she can't go through all this shit, but your character sure can. You can do it too.
Yeah, she can channel it. Yeah, she can be Laurie Strode.
Danielle Harris too.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many. Like for me for me, I think a scream queen, I associate it more with actresses who, you know, not primarily, but do a lot of horror, and they have like a role or two, either a role that they're like really well known for and is really popular, or, you know, as an actress who's just in a lot of horror. So there are a lot of scream queens. Personally, like the one that will always kind of have a special place in my heart is probably Heather Langenkamp, because
yes.
A Nightmare on Elm Street was like one of the first things I like really watched in horror, and I loved her in that film. So she has a special place in my heart. I love her in New Nightmare as well.
I was just bad that she got fucked up at part 3.
Yeah, same. I mean, I liked her role in part 3 though, but
she was the help, you know, like she was like I guess like, I can get you all through this maybe, but I might not make it through. That's always the screams. That's always the case with sequels. The main character from the previous movies can die. They're not immune to it.
Right.
Neve Campbell is also one. Like she's
probably my favorite.
Her and Jamie Lee Curtis are like, dude, I fucking love Neve Campbell, bro. Like,
yeah, she's great.
Like I love her, dude. Scream 1, she took some damage. She lost her virginity, right? So fucking Bill and Stu thought like, hey, she lost her virginity. Horror rules say she will not survive. Wrong. Nope. Part 2 comes along. Another piece of shit wants to kill her. Guess what happens to them? Dead.
Yeah.
Part 3 comes around. Oh, it's her long lost brother. Stabs him in the chest. Shoots him. Part 4, her crazy little cousin Emma Roberts tries to kill her, and guess what happens? Dead. Neve Campbell is the GOAT.
For real, yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is my favorite, but she hasn't survived every single Myers film.
No, yeah, Sydney is like the in my opinion, she's like the ultimate final girl.
Dude, you know who was
more
like,
or less, you know?
you know who was a big badass? I don't know her name, but she played Chris Higgins in Friday the 13th Part 3. Dude, Jason did not lay one hand on her or damage her at all. At first, when he jumped through that window, she dropped a bookcase on him. She stabbed him in the hand. She stabbed him in the knee. She cracked him over the head with a log. She hung him, hit him with a shovel, and stuck an axe in his head. I've never seen Jason take an ass whooping like that. Even Tommy Jarvis in Part 6 got fucked up. He got strangled underwater, and then Megan saved his ass, you know?
Yeah.
Chris Higgins was a fucking badass.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I don't remember her name, but I liked her. And then from Friday the 13th Part 2, I think, Alice.
Yeah.
I liked her too.
The blonde.
Yeah, so there are definitely characters out there that I don't know if I would like necessarily consider scream queens, just because, you know, maybe like I just don't know if they reach like that level, but they're still really good like final girls and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Neve Campbell is probably my favorite. Not only is Scream, you know, kind of like the whole it's both like a meta movie, and then it's trying to be like almost anti-meta by having Neve Campbell and Sydney just like survive the entire time and just emerge as like this really like badass figure. And by Scream 4, she's like an adult, and she's, you know, she's just seen too much of that shit.
They kind of hinted to us like after Part 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that Sydney Campbell is not gonna die, and that Scream is not gonna follow the classic, you know, sometimes the first, you know, the girl from the first one can die in the sequels, or if she loses her virginity, eventually she'll die. Like, no. Scream was just like, no, bitch. Neve Campbell is staying alive. Sydney lives forever. You can't kill Sydney. Sydney's like Michael Myers, bro. She got fucking stabbed. She got fucking shot. She's been through everything, and she's still like, yeah, I killed 4 people. Like, you know, 5 if you count Stu.
Right.
Damn, think about it. She killed 5 people.
Yeah, that's
Neve
crazy.
fucking Campbell. I love Sydney,
She
bro.
just walks around like, yeah, it happened. I just like that they built Sydney as like a badass character.
Speaking of, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
okay.
speaking of screams, you get it? Because we're doing Scream Queens and we're talking about dude, Olivia Hussey in Black Christmas was fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Scream part of Scream Queen, she had that, Phil, Bob, please answer me. Please answer me. And then she slammed the door on that fucker's face and then killed her boyfriend. It was great, bro.
Yeah.
She was a badass, too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like, not in how she handled, like, she was pretty disturbed when those phone calls were coming through. I would have just been like, hey, fuck her, eat shit, and hung up. She was pretty disturbed, but like, I think her fear is what gave her that, like, that adrenaline surge to fuck this guy up. He was hiding behind the door. Agnes, it's me, Billy. And she was just like, how about if I slam this on his head? Like, and she just closed the door on his whole being. It was great. Olivia Hussey's badass. I think she was in another movie. I'm not sure. I think it was
she was in Psycho 4.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep. She was also in Romeo and Juliet, but you know, we'll leave that out.
Yeah.
She fucking died in that one. All right.
No. Yeah, she was great. And like, speaking of the actual like screaming part, I mean, I think that's one of the like quintessential elements of a good scream queen is like how she can scream
down.
Oh yeah.
Because like, it didn't seem like, and it was 1974, and let's not you know, lick the balls of the 1970s and the 1960s. A lot of people couldn't act.
Yeah.
Her shit felt real. Like, that was not acting. You'll even see movies today. Phil, Barb, where are you? Guys, this chick was like, Phil, Bob, please answer me. Like, she was losing her fucking mind. I almost felt sorry for her.
No, yeah, she was a great actress, bro. She was very good. And another thing I kind of noticed while you were talking about her, and that is that a lot of like the scream queen / final girls like gradually become badasses, but really kind of start off as like they're just mostly lucky. Yeah, they just go through on like adrenaline alone, basically. Like most of them don't know like, you know, any kind of self-defense, like close quarter or anything like that. And they just like throw, you know, like a baby stroller and, you know, in front of the killer or something, and he like falls and cracks his head open.
It like hits him, and then he gains his momentum back, and then all of a sudden he slips. It's just luck.
Yeah,
but it's great because it can happen.
Yeah,
it always happens.
You mentioned Tenebrae earlier. I mean, I wouldn't consider the Well, maybe that was actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Daria Nicolodi, who was a scream queen of giallo horror film. She was in Tenebrae, she was in Deep Red, mostly like the Argento stuff. So I think that was her at the end, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she just got super lucky. I mean, what was it? She just like opened the door or something, and that guy got like impaled by. I forget what it was that he got impaled by, some metal or something like that. And
Yeah,
he just like died.
Because he was about to kill her ass.
Yeah.
And then she accidentally was like, "Not today, sir, not today."
Yeah, I don't know if I would consider her the final girl and everything, but I'm just saying, like, you know, for the most part, they really kind of just get by on luck and adrenaline, you know. So I think that's cool though, because it makes these scream queens, these final girls, so kind of relatable. You know, so you're able to root for them, like really wishing harm against the killer.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, like wanting them to get away.
I swear, I mean, I always root for like the final girl. Like, Jennifer Love Hewitt, she was in basically like all the I Know What You Did Last Summer's. Well, not all. 2 out of, how many was there? 3?
Yeah, I think she was only in the first 2.
Because the third one was about some fucking like some ghost or some shit.
Yeah, that one was weird.
She was dope though. Like her is same thing as Sydney. She just manages to find a way to survive. And like in part 2, like she wasn't even like she's kind of not like Sydney, because like after part 1, Sydney was like paranoid and she was like always ready. You know, after part 1, Jennifer Love Hewitt was like, oh, let's go on a trip. You know, she was like chilled now, no like really PTSD or anything like that, like Jamie Lee Curtis had and like Sydney had and like, you know, Heather Langenkamp had. And
yeah,
she was a badass. I wish Jennifer Love Hewitt was in like more horror.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I think out of, you know, everybody, she had some of the biggest potential, in my opinion, to be like a real like horror like icon as like a scream queen. But she really only kind of did like I Know You Did Last Summer and like a handful of other stuff. But she was great. I mean, I think it was in the first movie. They're at one of their houses, and then she just like gets out into the middle of the road by the car and just like screams into the air and stuff. I mean, it was good. I mean, she was a good actress. She was a good screamer. You know, I think she could have really been a great final girl / scream queen, but she wasn't in a lot of stuff after that.
I know, that's why dude, if they just introduce her to more horror, like they could have had her in the Scream franchise, at least be one of the victims, you know, just see you in like something else. And I mean, who else? I think Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy. I mean, she dies in the second Grudge, but she was pretty good in the first one. But she wasn't really like battling anything. She was just kind of getting tormented the whole fucking movie, you know.
Yeah. I mean, her popularity mostly comes off of Buffy, but I mean, I think that's definitely deserved.
She was in I Know she was in last summer as well, and she did not survive.
Right.
She sure as hell screamed loud, though. We'll give that to her.
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously, we have to mention Janet Leigh
from Psycho,
the mother of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, the very first.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, she was kind of. I mean, you know, there are others maybe before her, but
maybe in some lesser known movies. Yeah,
I don't know if anybody really achieved the scream queen level before her in Psycho. So
because that scene is iconic. Like when you like, dude, how many movies and cartoon shows have emulated the shower scene with the guy pulls the curtain back and she's just screaming that. She is responsible for like one of the most emulated horror scenes of all time.
Oh yeah. And she wasn't even the final girl, which was insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, she became a scream queen just based off of like that one scene, basically.
And she deserves it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then, you know, she gave us Jamie Lee Curtis. So thanks, Janet Leigh. But we had to mention her. I also really like Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps. She was also in American Mary. She actually kind of plays almost like, well, in American Mary, she does play the killer. And then in Ginger Snaps, you know, she's like the head werewolf chick. So she is, in my opinion, a scream queen on the basis of like she's in a lot of horror movies, but you know, she kind of doesn't really play like the final girl character. She plays almost like the villain in most of them.
Sherry Moon Zombie, I would say.
Yeah.
Because she's in fucking... Rob Zombie puts her in everything, so that's kind of like a default one. I don't want to touch too much on her because like there's nothing really special. He just throws her in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Modern... Let's talk about modern.
Yeah, so modern, like post like 2010,
there hasn't been much.
Yeah, not really, but I mean,
there's two or three I can think of. I forgot the chick from American Horror Story, not the Farmiga, but the one that got kidnapped by Bloody Face, and he made her have his kid or whatever the fuck. Sarah Paulson, that's her.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Sarah Paulson, yeah. Yeah, she's pretty good. I mean, I don't remember like what other movies she's been in, but yeah, she mostly does American Horror Story.
Yeah, I saw her in American Horror Story, and like I always liked her. Jessica Lange too.
Yeah.
From American Horror Story.
Yeah, she's not really like a new emerging, scream queen.
I think we can classify Evan Peters as a scream queen.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I would say Emma Roberts and Taissa Farmiga are definitely up there just because, like, as far as modern actresses go, you kind of just have to call them scream queens because not only for their appearances in American Horror Story, but they've been in other stuff. The Nun.
Conjuring, The Nun.
Yeah. Emma Roberts in The Black Coat's Daughter, very good.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
It's pretty good, man. She was in Scream 4, obviously. And then Chloe Grace Moretz actually maybe like has the best resume out of these people. She did the Amityville Horror, The Eye, Let Me In, Carrie. And she was
That is
Carrie.
a hell of a resume.
Suspiria. So, and then we've got some other emerging talents. Lulu Wilson, the little girl from The Haunting of Hill House, Ouija, Origin of Evil, Annabelle Creation. Mika Monroe, of course, from It Follows. I would even say Vera Farmiga is like, more of an emerging scream queen.
Hell yeah! I mean, all the Conjuring movies, Annabelle movies, and
Mrs. Bates and Bates Motel.
She's everywhere, bro.
Yeah, I love her. I love the Farmigas. They're probably my favorites. Yeah, they probably kind of have like taken that mantle away. But I don't know if we like have an actress now that is at that Jamie Lee Curtis level. I don't think so.
No one will ever be that level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say ever. I mean, I hope so. But right now, it's just kind of like, everybody is kind of like an American Horror Story or just doing like these random movies. I mean, obviously, there aren't really that many series anymore. So it's kind of hard to have like this, reigning scream queen kind of come out.
Yeah, there's just not too many women taking on multiple roles in horror. Like, you'll see like someone will be on like, let's say like Stand Against Evil, and then that's the only show she's on. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think there are like the ones that we've kind of talked about are the ones that are taking up most of the roles.
Oh yeah, Vera Farmiga,
yeah,
Taissa Farmiga,
Chloe Grace Moretz, Emma Roberts. Like they're, when you think of like a horror actress now, like they're kind of the shoo-ins,
Yeah.
And then everybody else is still kind of like fighting to get there. But like none of these actresses, in my opinion, have like really taken up that like head role, like
I think Vera and Taissa will. I think Vera for sure.
Possibly. It depends because like I like her in the Conjuring franchise and everything, but she did like as the character, she doesn't really grip me as being like the best scream queen.
Oh yeah. I mean when I look at this list, of modern ones, I
think Taissa Farmiga or Emma Roberts could be if they like really break out with like a certain movie or certain series or something.
I was thinking Emma Roberts.
Yeah. A lot of people are thinking Toni Collette now, from Hereditary, the mom.
Oh yeah, she's fucking great.
She is really good. So I mean, if she has some more like breakout movies, it could be her, even though she's like the mom.
She needs to be in those family supernatural movies. Like that's where you could see all her emotions shine through. Because she was spectacular. Like her acting was phenomenal in Hereditary.
Definitely, yeah.
She. Now that you mention her, so far I like her acting is much better than anyone on this list.
Yeah, I just don't think she has quite the horror resume to be up there just yet. I mean, Hereditary was good, but that alone I don't think would push her to that level,
Yeah.
I think out of like the young actresses, I think Taissa Farmiga might have the best chance because not only does she have the looks, but I think she's a great actress and I think she's got a good screen.
I really enjoyed her.
Roberts.
I really enjoyed her in The Nun.
Oh yeah, me too.
And in The Final Girls.
Yeah.
That's her emotion though, like she has one of those faces. If she's sad, you're sad. So you're like, oh no.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's perfect. Like you don't want her to die.
Never want her to die.
Mika Monroe is obviously really good too. So yeah, they're all kind of up in the running. I think Lulu Wilson in like 10 years could be a great scream queen if she keeps doing horror, which I mean seems like that's kind of all she's doing. Once she appeared in Annabelle Creation, it was like, all right. Or was it Ouija Origin of Evil before that? I think Ouija was first, right?
the second Ouija, right?
Yeah.
That was
Before
oh,
Annabelle?
fuck, was it? No,
I think it might have been.
because Ouija came out in like 2011. Then the next one I think came out in 2013, and then Annabelle had. I think it did come out before Annabelle.
Okay.
It did come out before Annabelle Creation because that one was like way more recent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I think, you know, in like 10 years or something, she could be up there for sure. So it's kind of interesting. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are about the modern kind of like scream queens.
We need more.
Yeah.
We need more ladies of horror. To me, what made 80s horror and slashers like horror was like the final girl and like the chicks. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't follow like a dude around who's like, you gotta kill this killer, you know, I gotta survive. Like, I'd be like,
Yeah.
you fucking.
Tommy Jarvis is like the only one for me.
Yeah, I only like Tommy. Dude, he fucked up. Part 4 killed Jason. Part 5 fucked up Roy really badly.
And obviously Ash.
Yeah, Ash is like.
That's just a given. Yeah.
That's one of the. That's the fucking Godfather, bro. Like,
yeah, for real.
We don't speak on Ash. If we even talk about Ash, we have to like do an episode where we talk about the original Evil Dead in part 2 and then like the remake and then Ash versus the Evil Dead. Like we have to make a whole episode for him if we're gonna even talk about him.
It's gonna happen because I'm a huge Evil Dead fanboy. So
Oh, dude, I can't wait to like rewatch like 1, 2.
I'm just gonna
Army of
marathon
Darkness.
like all of it.
I am too because they have. I know they have Evil Dead on Tubi, the original. Evil Dead 2, I think, is on Prime.
It's on some. Yeah.
It's on Prime, I'm pretty sure.
Army of Darkness is the only one I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I can't find that
the new
anywhere.
one, but
You'd have to like fucking. I have to buy the DVD if I want to watch that.
I think I have both the DVD and the Blu-ray if I'm not mistaken.
Or I could just buy it off Comcast. I think it's like $10.
Yeah, you could do that, but yeah, I mean, so Scream Kings is a whole other topic, but yeah, I was just gonna say one last thing. I mean, kind of about the Toni Collette thing, and then related to sort of like, you know, in the 80s, all the Scream Queens were like these young girls because that's what the thing was now. You know, now with like how feminine driven horror is becoming, you know, or like how female driven horror is becoming, we're starting to see a lot more actresses of all ages, of all ranges, you know, whatever, kind of stepping up and being in this horror movie. So I mean, I think that's the thing too. There are just a lot more actresses now that are doing movies.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't see quite as many actresses in like multiple roles.
And horror movies don't get that much attention.
Yeah.
Unless they're by like Blumhouse or by Ghost House Pictures.
Yeah. It's changing for sure. But
like,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of why like Vera Farmiga is up there because people watch a lot of Blumhouse and stuff. And,
oh yeah,
you know, that's like the reigning horror production company right now, and at least in theaters. So
right now the Scream Queen champ, I would who's the champ of modern age?
I would say right now it's hard. Like I don't know if I could crown one. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's
I think it's gonna take like a real breakout film or like a series, like a new series with like a new lead girl.
Chloe Grace Moretz is probably my choice, since in terms of like quantity, like I would say she's been in a lot
her
more.
resume is probably like
She's
the
been
best.
Yeah, like her resume is the best. So I think she needs, especially after like Suspiria, she needs to like fuck it, call Blumhouse, be like, hey, I know you watched my movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if she keeps landing like a lot of really good roles where she like ends up being like the badass survivor girl kind of thing. I think she could get there.
Even if she ends up being the antagonist, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
I just feel like she's gonna end up doing more almost like art housey, more indie stuff after Suspiria and everything now, you know, kind of like Kristen Stewart, like that kind of thing. I don't know.
God, like I remember her, Kristen Stewart. She was in The Messengers. I remember that was the first movie I saw her. And then like the Twilight thing happened, and I was like, oh well,
Yeah.
never want to watch them. You know, I never watched The Messengers after I watched it in theaters. I was going to, and then I found out she's in Twilight, so I was like, fuck Twilight. I was like, I'm never watching The Messengers ever again.
Yeah, her acting is actually getting quite better now, and I like a couple movies she's been in like recently. But yeah, I don't think she's anywhere even like close in the Scream Queen discussion because none of that Twilight shit counts.
No,
obviously,
it's not fucking horror.
Nope.
It's fucking fantasy drama.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys' thoughts are about the conversation. I kind of want to, you know, because we're still kind of talking about Scream Queens here, but in the next segment, we've got an actress in this film who I think maybe could make a case as a potential, you know, Scream Queen in the future. So we're going to talk about that in this week's chopping block. And in this week, you son of a bitch. And in this week's chopping block, we've got a brand new Netflix original horror film
By Blumhouse.
Hey,
the last piece of shit they released, Truth or Dare, that wasn't so great. So
no, did you watch it finally? Yeah, I didn't like it.
Snapchat filtered demonic shit.
Yeah, that was bad. But the new one, Cam, directed by Daniel Goldhaber, starring Madeline Brewer as Alice, just came out, I think, over like last week. I watched it finally over the weekend, and let's talk about it. First of all, kind of going off of the Scream Queen discussion, I just want to talk about the leading lady here a little bit.
I really liked her. I really liked her.
Madeline Brewer as Alice Ackerman / Lola did a great job. She's been in some other stuff before, but I feel like this is going to be a breakout role for her.
I hope it is, because Netflix is out there, and hopefully, like, I mean, it is Blumhouse, so hopefully they start adding her to like more movies
That'd be cool.
As one of the main characters. We don't need her as a fucking side. This is my cousin. No, we don't need her. We need her at the forefront. Dude, when she, spoiler alert, when she starts bashing her fucking head into the fucking table, I was like, this chick is badass as fuck.
Yeah, no, she gave a phenomenal performance, in my opinion. Really layered. She kind of has to like lose her mind in this movie. Yeah. But she also plays like this cam girl, so it's a role that we don't see all that often, except by real cam girls. But that's not what we're talking about.
I don't watch that.
But yeah, so I mean, she has to play this cam girl, and at the same time, she kind of has to play like, I don't know, it's hard, like herself. That's not herself. I'm referring to her character, of course. So the movie basically concerns this cam girl who, after like one day, she logs in and she sees that her like show is live, but she's not streaming, and she sees someone that looks like herself there, but it's not her.
And this happens as soon as she breaks into like the top 50 most viewed cam shows.
Right. Yeah. Actually, it's pretty funny because it happens literally right after she like passes out from that from that machine or whatever. Like she just like has a she basically has like a deathgasm.
Yeah, deathgasm. How dare you? I need to watch that.
Oh, it's great.
Is it? Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've seen it so many times on my queue, and I just roll by it. I'm like, wow, this name sounds good. Yeah, it's cheesy, funny, but then there's like all this like metal and heavy metal like horror and stuff. It's pretty great. Lola in this movie does a great fucking job. Dude, I haven't seen acting that good
in a while.
In a while, especially like modern day. Besides like Toni Collette, like who's fucking amazing. This chick made me actually like feel for her like in this film, because like I don't know, at certain points I forgot I was watching a movie. I was just hoping that she fucking fixes everything, and she was getting ostracized by her family. Well, her mom and her brother, once they found out she was doing the nudie cams and whatnot. She's like, I watched your show. I'm all for the women empowerment. Mom, that's not me. Of course it's not, honey. Of course it's not.
Right, yeah.
That shit was hilarious.
Super patronizing, but yeah, she did great. I mean, it really felt like a pretty realistic performance.
They developed the shit out of her character, like, because she, like, throughout the whole movie, she just wanted to be in, like, the top 10 so bad. And, like, you see what she's going through to do this, like.
Yeah, she has ambition.
Yeah, she does have ambition. It's funny, though, once her account gets fucking taken over, like, at no point was she like, man, we should probably just get a real job.
Right, yeah.
She's just like, nope, I gotta show titties and ass, and I gotta. Yeah. What the fuck was she doing at one point where people were paying? They were like, paying her coins to like eat that steak with your hands. What the fuck is wrong? Who the fuck is out, bro?
Perverts are weird, bro.
Bro, think about how many weirdos are out there that would just think about, if you're a girl, and if you're listening to this, think about it. If you're a woman. There is someone out there that would pay you like $500 to watch you eat chicken.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Think about that.
It's pretty crazy. We're not advocating for you to like do that shit, but
no, I'm not advocating it. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's definitely it's part of like the message of the movie, So she did a phenomenal job. I think that her character was written very well, and I think she has the potential to be like up there.
That was like one of the most developed characters in a 2018 movie that I've seen. Yeah. Even Jamie Lee Curtis, her character, and her daughter and her granddaughter in Halloween weren't like as developed as this chick, and Toni Collette was though in Hereditary.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
A Quiet Place too.
Yeah, Quiet Place. Yeah, she was very good in that as well. Yeah, Madeline Brewer in this, great. Very multi-layered performance. She has to play this like ambitious cam girl and simultaneously play like this random like entity.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but
They never. That's what.
yeah.
So
So let's talk
spoiler-
about the movie.
Yeah. So spoiler alert: they did not tell you what this entity was. Just for some reason, after chicks like break into like the top 10, they get replaced. Which is so. Here's what
Well,
confuses.
not, but yeah, like it just like randomly like takes over girls that it wants that are popular or something.
Yeah. So like
that.
it's what I saw. Like it took over that black girl's account,
Mm-hmm.
but she was still like in there in person, and it was her. And
right,
it
but
wasn't,
she was like, yeah, apparently, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was interesting. Like I didn't.
That's why I was like,
didn't
wait a
really
minute, why is
understand.
she still in real life?
Yeah.
If when you break the top 10, your shit gets taken over. That's what kind of like.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there were some kind of
So like they made
inconsistencies
so
in the
they
story.
made they made body doubles for these other chicks, but not for this one. That they're all right. We'll replace her on the screen. She'll never figure it out. Like
Yeah, I don't know. There were some holes in the writing for sure. That was probably my biggest gripe with the film. I mean, yeah. Otherwise, I thought her performance was great. The cinematography solid. The score pretty solid. Nothing like really memorable for me that much, but the overall like subject matter, the substance of the story was definitely good. I mean, it kept you interested in it for sure. I just don't think it ended up like really delivering like finally, you know, like that satisfaction.
yeah, because at the end it was kind of left open ended. Like fuck, is it about to happen again? Because we saw what happened at the end. Like
You know, she kind of came full circle. That's why I think her character was really written well, because at the end of it, she was still ambitious. But I'm going to stop spoiling everything. But performance and the character, great. Actually, I mean, all the characters actually like pretty good, even though hers was really the most developed and the focal point of the film, obviously. But yeah, definitely some holes in the writing. The pacing I thought was like okay.
yeah, it's for like some moments it was like, all right, some guy's paying her to eat. All right,
Yeah.
some guy's paying her to lick her toe or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck.
Like we really have to show you multiple instances of like
They just-
how exactly she's a cam girl.
Well, they gotta show us how weird dudes can be, because
Yeah.
nowadays with the internet, weirdos can gather and be like, "Yo, I like to see women put on deodorant," and you'll find at least 1,000 other people. Yo, I also like that.
And they'll like pay to watch it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So definitely like a huge theme in the film was just guys being dickheads.
Guys are fucking weirdos.
Yeah. And well, obviously it's like a whole commentary basically on the whole like cam girl subculture and just porn in general.
I like it because I haven't seen a cam girl movie.
Yeah,
prior,
it's
prior to this one.
Oh, dude, it's super original.
Like you said on that text message, bro, like it was like a innovative film, like
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't been done before, and it was a good idea. Like I think there's a lot of subject matter that hasn't been touched yet,
Yeah.
but we can't think of it because like it's so like trivial that like you would never think to make a horror movie about something like that. Oh, let's make a horror movie about a cam girl. Let's make a horror movie about a guy who collects stamps and some supernatural shit happens. Don't fucking steal that from me.
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, obviously the whole cam girl thing is kind of a sensitive topic because it has to deal with sexploitation and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So, and you know, people basically abusing these girls. I mean, there are multiple parts of the movie where, you know, like something terrible is happening to Alice or Lola, whatever you want to call her. And there are just like a whole bunch of guys just like tipping her, you know, like, yeah, I want to see more, you know, like hurt yourself.
Like she fucking fakes like doing something to herself, and people start tipping her ridiculous amounts. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, if she's gonna do that, she's not gonna need money.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, there's a whole underlying thing about, you know, women being abused and put on a pedestal and treated as objects and everything like that. Which, I mean, that comes across pretty clear as day, in my opinion, at least. So I think the message is definitely pushed through. The film is like super trippy, so it's kind of hard
That's
to
what
like.
I really liked about it, though. Like,
Yeah.
dude, the first time when she like fucking saw that other chick who is also her but
Yeah.
not her was on her feed, like the look on her face was just priceless, though.
Yeah,
Like,
it was. Yeah, it was pretty innovative. Honestly, like the whole thing of the entity kind of reminded me of It Follows.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But
Yeah.
dude, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked It Follows much better, and like I'll rewatch that shit any day. Cam too. Like Cam is the thing I like about this movie. The acting is great.
Yeah.
Cinematography trips you out a lot. Like it's really like suspenseful. Like it's I don't know how to explain it technically because I'm not that type of guy. But
Yeah.
the score, nothing really special. Nothing really memorable. Like House by the Cemetery. Nothing like that. You know, just character development. That's like the number one thing. I mean, this shit has never been done before. I just thought it was written very well. I liked the script. It wasn't a lazy script at all.
Yeah.
But I felt like you said, like the delivery and like the final climax was sort of.
Yeah, just like the execution.
It's like,
of it,
she got it. She's smart. Like, and that was it. Like,
yeah. So I mean, you guys will
I like
see
the-
if you watch it.
I like that it was left open ended. Like,
Sort
of. Like it, at least in the sense that we don't know what happens next. I just didn't like that there was no explanation as to why what was going on.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I related it to It Follows, because in that movie, it's kind of the same kind of deal, you know. So it's almost like you have to approach it metaphorically almost, because you're not sure like what is happening.
It's like basically you become a different person once you let all your ego infiltrate your psyche.
Yeah.
And then I guess you become so full of yourself, and then you don't feel like yourself, and then you obviously got the struggle with family. Oh, now my family knows, everyone's judging you, and you just want to be yourself, and you can't because you feel like someone else is you, and you are someone else. So
Yeah, so definitely powerful messages throughout this film, but there were some flaws. So finally, is it safe or is it chopped?
It's safe for me. I would check it out, but don't expect like fucking Hereditary level of greatness or Summer of '84. This is not in my top 10 horrors of 2018. It's probably gonna be in the 15 though. You know.
Okay.
It's probably like number 13 through 15 somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still making our list. You know,
we still haven't seen what's it called, Hellfest?
Yes. I mean, there's still a few we haven't seen.
Because there was Bloodfest. I know. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I still have to. I still have to finish
Dude,
it.
you really have to watch that. It ends up getting crazy, and the twist you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, so I have to watch that. Cam, I still have to kind of decide where I rank it, but it's safe for me too. I think you should definitely check it out. But again, there are some flaws, some holes, kind of in the story itself, and there are times in the movie where like, you know, it's being done well. Like we see, you know, her life and how this is affecting her and everything, and the transitions and everything are pretty good. But I feel like there are some times where like, I don't know, they could have cut it down or like cut out a scene or just threw something else in there possibly. So yeah, check it out. Let us know what you guys think about it. Cam on Netflix. It is now out. So that's going to wrap it up for the chopping block.
Yes. Cam is safe. Go watch it immediately. Don't go in there expecting to be fucking wow and like it's mostly mystery.
Yeah,
and suspense.
I mean, a lot of people like it. I mean, it's definitely a good technical achievement for sure.
Not one of the best Blumhouse movies though.
Yeah, and I mean,
possibly one of the worst Blumhouse movies. One of the and that's not saying anything. Like they make a lot of movies, so there's gonna be shit that kind of that you get a whiff of as it flies by. But
yeah, but definitely check it out.
I think you should. Yeah, if you like Blumhouse style movies, you'll like this one.
Yeah, and honestly, it's for me, it's like still pretty different for a Blumhouse movie. So
yeah, I mean, it still has that Blumhouse feel though. Like,
yeah, for sure. So let us know what you guys think about it. You can do so on all our social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
and let us know who your favorite Scream Queen is. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Neve Campbell for me. Those are my two. Like, I don't care if Jamie Lee Curtis is old. I'll marry her now. I'll marry Neve Campbell too. I don't care if she's married.
Yeah. Yeah, I have quite a few favorites, and we didn't talk about, you know, quite a few of them too, like, you know, those kind of like 2000s Scream Queens and stuff like that. But, yeah. But let us know what who your guys' favorite is. Let us know what you guys think about all the movies and the news we shared in this episode today. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Grave Discussions, and then we have a website, gravediscussions.net, where you can listen to the newest episode and go check out a whole bunch of other horror goodies.
Yeah, we did one written review. We got another one coming soon. I feel like it's time to write another written one.
Yeah.
If you want to check out our host bios, you're like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yep.
You know, and why the fuck should I care about what they say about horror? Well, you should. Barnabas here is qualified, and I've been obsessed with the genre since I was 5. I've seen almost every Hollywood horror movie.
Yep. Yeah, we know what we're talking about.
We fucking know, all right? Not like Wikipedia we know. Like, we're like watch movie documentaries about the movie.
But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for episode number 38.
Yes, it is. And remember, and always keep us in your hearts. And we will see you next week, and the week after, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that on Grave Discussions.
This has been an SRD production.